But I mean, like you said, we were in Ren's head the whole time, and I still didn't really feel like I knew what she was thinking. And I was like, why didn't you just write it in like third person then?
Yeah.
Instead of like, because what she has to have thoughts about things, right? Like, I mean, I think all the time. I
Right.
can't just turn it off.
I wish I could. Yeah, I wish I could turn it off. Hey everybody, welcome to BYOB, the Bring Your Own Book podcast. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Nikki.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Holly Black's latest release, The Stolen Heir, which is the first book in her new duology, which is a continuation of The Cruel Prince and all that fun stuff in the Elfhame series. So before we get started and talk about our feelings and all the fun stuff, Nikki's going to read us the synopsis.
A runaway queen, a reluctant prince, and a quest that may destroy them both. 8 years have passed since the Battle of the Serpent, but in the icy north, Lady Nore of the Court of Teeth has reclaimed the Ice Needle Citadel. There, she is using an ancient relic to create monsters of stick and snow who will do her bidding and exact her revenge. Suren, child queen of the Court of Teeth, and the one person with power over her mother, fled to the human world. There she lives feral in the woods. Lonely and still haunted by the merciless torments she endured in the Court of Teeth, she bides her time by releasing mortals from foolish bargains. She believes herself forgotten until the storm hag, Bogdana, chases her through the night streets. Suren is saved by none other than Prince Oak, heir to Elfhame, and whom she was once promised in marriage and who she has resented for years. Now 17, Oak is charming, beautiful, and manipulative. He's on a mission that will lead him into the north, and he wants Suren's help. But if she agrees, it will mean guarding her heart against the boy she once knew and a prince she cannot trust, as well as confronting all the horrors she thought she left behind. That was too long.
Right? Almost as long as the book.
I know. That's what I was just going to say. I was like, you don't even have to read it now. I wish I'd read the synopsis.
You didn't?
Nope.
See, okay, this is so funny because when we read The Cruel Prince, I remember, so if you're just joining us on BYOB, The Cruel Prince was one of our very first episodes back in season 1. And I remember talking to Nikki and being like, this book is everywhere. I'm intrigued. Let's read it. Can we read it? I want to read it. And so we read it. And I remember reading the synopsis a long time before I actually read the book. And so then I didn't reread the synopsis, just went right into the book. And I was like, oh my God, her parents were murdered in front of her in like the first 3 pages. And so, like, I feel like it's almost better to not read the synopsis of her books and just go in and just let the chips fall where they may, honestly.
Yeah, that it's a lot. I mean, I think that this book definitely felt like it was in the same world as the first one. A lot of the things I didn't like about the Cruel Prince series definitely carried into this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some thoughts on that. But should we talk about our star ratings first?
Yes. Off of that comment, my star rating was a 3.
Okay.
There's something, like, the book ended in a way that I want to read the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I know I'm going to read like 90% of it, not liking it. And just like reading it for the last like 50 pages where I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is probably not like worth it, like in terms of money or in terms of time, but I'll probably do it anyway. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get into a lot of the reasons like as we kind of talk about it, but there's just something about Holly Black's writing that I'm not super into. Like, yeah, I think it's like objectively good, and stuff, but I just find myself always feeling like, could we get on with it and just move on and keep going? This is a journey and I feel very stagnant.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I mean, I definitely felt like it was slow to get started, and then once it picked up, I was hooked. And so it took me a bit to get invested, just like with The Cruel Prince, but I found I was invested sooner with The Cruel Prince. And there was just a lot more of like really anger inducing, or like maddening, I guess is the better word, maddening characters in The Cruel Prince because of like fucking Jude. I have never hated a protagonist so much, but also like rooted for them. Because it wasn't like Grace and Crave where I was just like, you could just like not be here and I'd be great, you know? But like, yeah, I get what you're saying. For me, I gave it a 4 in the end, but I'm kind of like, I don't usually do the 0.25s, but I probably would be more like 3.75 because I'm like, I liked it more than a 3. But when I look at other 4s, I don't know if it's a 4. So maybe it's a 3.75. Let's just say that because I did enjoy it. I love the atmosphere that Holly Black creates. I love the vibes. She clearly knows her shit, you know? She is all in with the Fae lore and everything. I love it. But yeah, I did find it took a bit to get going. And then once it went, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I'm definitely going to read the next book because thankfully it's a duology and not a trilogy. So I think
that's why I'm kind of like, I'll probably read the next one because that's it. It's done after that. And then I can just say I finished the story. We can all move on.
But also, maybe you already knew this. I didn't know this, or if I did, I forgot I knew. The next book is actually in Oak's point of view. Oh. And so I'm intrigued, because I saw a really short interview with Holly Black on, I think it was Good Morning America, which is like so random to me, but I mean, good for her. It's a big show, so hey. But yeah, she said the next one's written in his perspective and you find things out from the first book that is going to make more sense now because we're in his perspective. So I'm like, okay, because I have questions, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot going on in the first book where because he was, I don't know what they call it, like he can make people like feel certain ways when he talks, like,
oh yeah, he's like a charmer kind of.
Yeah. So there was a lot of time where I was like, well, is he like really being honest, or is he just trying to you know, like sweet talk his way through something?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think part of the thing with this book, it's not that I need every dude in a book to be like bad or have like be like a villain kind of thing, but he just felt very two-dimensional to me. And the same with Ren, where I felt like they're kind of like carbon copy cutouts of like, this is what a main character is. Okay. And they didn't really seem to have any depth to me, even when she was questioning those things about Oak, and then he'd be like, no, and it would kind of like get cleared up, and then it was just like back to like ground zero again. I was like, where is the, I need more tension, or not even like romantic tension, just like plot tension, like building up, because I just felt like everything was very level through the whole thing. And I don't know if that's just because I wasn't connecting to the book, or if that's how it was, like even if you were connected to the book, it still felt like that. I don't really know.
Yeah, I think so, because like, okay, here's how I see it. Maybe I could be totally wrong, but hey, we're gonna go with this theory. I feel like because Ren, who is Suren, or Suren, whatever, she calls herself Ren, she is so, like, she wears a mask at all times because she's just like trying to survive all the time, right? And she's like constantly not able to trust people and trying to figure out what they want and all these things. But then I think on the same level, Oak is that way. So because they're both so closed off, it's like, I don't know what you're thinking really, what you want. And like, obviously we're not going to know a lot about him because we're getting this story through Ren, but like, it's hard when the two main people don't really show their hands at all, especially like we're reading your perspective and I don't really know what you want or where you're going with this, or like, because there were some like romantic kind of things with her and Oak, but it didn't feel like it should be. Like, I don't know, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, I definitely, like, in The Cruel Prince, when moments like that would happen, I felt like I was waiting on bated breath. I was like, oh my God, they're touching. He touched her hand, whatever. He's like breathing close to her. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And in this one, even when she kind of snuggles up to him at the fire, I was like, you know, when you're really cold, sometimes you have to do that. That's all I felt. I didn't feel like, oh, you know, romance.
Yeah.
It felt very sibling-y.
Yes. Yeah.
And
it was like
platonic
love.
Yeah. And I don't know if this was being marketed as a fantasy romance, but I don't think enough romance happened in the first book to propel us through the second one to like an ending where they're together in any kind of capacity.
Yeah. And I feel like they're going to make it happen because I feel like that's the more popular route in terms of marketing. But I kind of wish they would just be really good friends, or like, you know, some kind of kinship, because obviously they had some kind of relationship. They talk about like they were betrothed at one point. I don't think they are anymore because of everything that went down.
Right.
So like there's some of that stuff we need to unpack, but it doesn't really get unpacked. It's just like, oh yeah, I like had you safe in a bedroom during the fight of the Serpent or whatever, the Battle of the Serpent, whatever it is, at the end of Queen of Nothing. And then you disappeared and now I'm back and you don't trust me for some reason. But they didn't do anything, right? Like he helped her be safe.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
It's just weird.
I don't know. Yeah, there were a lot of things in this book where I felt like the motivation was lacking. And that, I just spent a lot of it kind of being like, why are you doing this? I'm not feeling any intention for why characters are doing what they're doing, which I was surprised about because I felt a lot of intention in The Cruel Prince.
Oh my God, yeah.
My main problem with the Cruel Prince series was there was a lot of political stuff, and I'm just like not really into that. So I found like the middle sections of each book kind of like a slog to get through. But this one, I didn't find it super political. Like there wasn't a lot of complicated things going on. It was mainly just like one kind of journey and one plot happening. But I was still like, I don't even know how else to describe it. Just,
Yeah. Yeah, because like in The Cruel Prince, or like the first book in that series, The Cruel Prince, there was a lot of political crap that we were like, what is happening? I'm so confused. But we were so drawn in by all these terribly behaved characters and just how frustrating they were. And it was so like soap opera, but not. Like it was just so intense. Cardan tried to like freaking drown Jude at one point, and then when he made out with her, we were like, yay, which normally is not a go-to for me. Normally I'm like, you try to kill me, you're never gonna kiss me. But I was like, please, Cardan, please come back. So I get ya, because like I did enjoy the book, but it did feel a little different. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, one thing we had talked about in the original series was the fact that we hated whenever they were in the mortal realm. And so we were always just like, can you go back to Elfhame? Can we please go back to Fairy? And in this book, I was so confused because they seemed to go back and forth like the drop of a hat. There was no real like barrier of entry into either world because there's like a bus stop they go to, but she's like in normal Maine, I'm assuming, and then she's like, nope, I'm back over the bushes and I'm in fairy. Like, I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, because I remember in the first series there was a lot of like ragweed horses that were like taking them over the water to fairy, right? Am I correct?
And they used those here, but not like that.
No, they were just traveling from like one area of fairy into the Court of Moths. Is that when they used them?
I think so.
I don't even remember.
Or they were like trying to get there, but I had to stop, and that's when she tried to get away.
The sticks came after them.
Yeah,
and like did something to the horses, and then there was the Kelpie that came and like was a horse for them.
Yeah, and she had like the hots for Oak, and I'm like, Oak is 17, so how old are you? Like,
oh, I think that was the mermaid.
Oh, was it?
Oh no, maybe that was a Kelpie, but the Kelpie that turned into a horse was a dude, because he's the one that ratted her out in the prison.
Yes. Okay. Oh yeah. No, I'm thinking of the lady in the water or whatever that creature was. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I literally just finished this 2 days ago, and I'm already like, I don't really know. Something like this happens, which isn't good. That's not like...
Yeah, literally before we went on to record this, I was like, what happened at the end? I forget. And I liked the book, so I feel bad. But I also think part of it is because her world is so different from anything else I read that I think it goes in my mind and I'm like, wow, I'm enjoying this. And then it leaves as soon as I close the book. I just have no frame of reference.
Yeah, I don't typically read things that are fairy related or like fae related. Even in like fantasy, like a lot of the fantasy that I read is not related to fae at all. It's like, you know, vampires and like Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like medieval fantasy and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say maybe a hot take, but I feel like because I know you've read all of ACOTAR. I've only read the first two, and there's fae in the books, but I feel like she just took the fae males and females because like she wanted to make them hot, and there's no other lore really relating to the fae in her book, or what I remember.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read them, but I would agree with that. Like there might be some
pukas,
like some pukas, some other creatures, exactly, like some other creatures that are like fae related, or what you would think of as like a fairy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely not part of it. It's basically, it could be like, these people are Russian and these people are Canadian or something. Like that's basically what it is. Just like
with wings.
One group is hot.
Yeah.
And they can fly.
Yes.
Some of them.
Because like, I'm sorry, can you imagine resand in this world? I'd be like, no. What? Carden would eat him up. Like, not in a good way. He would destroy him. I think. It's been a while since I've read his book.
They're very different.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah.
But also, I have a question. Speaking of Carden. Do they age the same as humans? Because I thought they didn't. And so...
I don't think they do. I think they live like...
Yeah.
A very, very long time.
So like, is Carden actually at the end of the trilogy, is he like 18, 19, or is he like 100?
I think he's older. I thought he was like 70 at least.
Oh my God. So if Oak's only 17 in this book, he's like 2.
An infant?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like wondering just like peripherally about like things that obviously don't matter to the plot. But like Jude would now be like 24
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
Like I would say like early to like mid 20s. How long is she going to live for Cardan, or did something happen and now like did something happen in the trilogy that I'm not remembering and now she's going to live like a really long time like he does, or is she there for a good time, not a long time?
I think she's just there for a good time.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it was like Feyre or whatever, whoever all these people are, where it's like, I love you, now you're gonna be immortal, you know? Like, I don't think that's what happened. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And
I kind of
like,
wish that there would have been like a scene with them, but then at the same time I'm like
yeah,
maybe it would have been bad.
I don't know.
So I don't really know, but because there wasn't one, I wish that there was.
Right? I know. I was like, are they gonna show up? But we were on the road the entire time, basically.
Yeah.
But
Which like is fine. I don't mind that.
yeah.
I found, well, in books that I really enjoy, it's nice because it's kind of like road markers. Like, oh, they did a big thing here and now they went and did a big thing here and whatever. So I do like that. I just didn't really care about the things they were doing in this book, so it didn't hit quite the same.
Yeah.
But I did like some of the stuff in the Court of Moths. Like when she goes and gets the dress made and they go to the ball and then he fights the ogre or giant. It's an ogre, I think.
I think an ogre, yeah, or a troll or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And he like kills him and it's like he
Yeah.
can only fight to kill. And I was like, intriguing. And
Yes.
then they didn't really do anything with that. And I was like, okay, we get it. You're a sad boy. Lots of boys are sad. Let's get over it.
Oh my god. Because yeah, he's Maddox or Madoc, however we say it. He's his kid. And he's ruthless. So I like kind of forgot about that because he was banished, right? So like now he's trying to get his dad back, but like his dad was the worst and ruthless and brutal and cunning. So I really liked that part too, when he like suddenly switched on a dime and was like lethal, like Kill Bill kind of vibes. I was like,
Yeah.
what? I want to know what's going on and I am intrigued, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get more in the next book. We have to, if we're in his head.
I would think. I'm actually kind of excited if it is in his, or because it is in his perspective. I guess she did confirm that. To see like what's going on. Hopefully that adds a dimension.
Yeah.
Maybe this book should have been dual perspective.
I don't know.
Maybe it wouldn't have felt so like closed. But I mean, like you said, we were in Ren's head the whole time and I still didn't really feel like I knew what she was thinking. And I was like, why didn't you just write it in like third person then?
Yeah.
Instead of like, because what, she has to have thoughts about things, right? Like, I mean, I think all the time.
Right.
I can't just turn it off.
I wish I could. Yeah, I wish I could turn it off. What did you think about Bogdana?
I was just picturing Baba Yaga the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Bartok, specifically the cartoon one. Not like a real person, like a cartoon.
Oh my god.
I thought she was cool. Like, I
Yeah.
thought it was a good layer.
Yeah.
I kind of wished that there would have been like more meaningful conversation
Yeah.
that happened. Not necessarily between Ren and Bogdana or however you want to say it.
Who knows?
But just with Bogdana in general. Maybe she's like overhearing a conversation between the witch and Lady Nore or something, because I was like, oh, this is really good. This is a great character. She's adding like this whole other layer. They're not just going on a quest, they're also being chased. But she really only shows up one time, and
Yeah.
like before Ren goes to the bus stop. And while I felt like she gave her like kind of an important riddle or whatever,
Yeah.
I was already like, well, she has Maylith's heart. I was like, that's not really something that's like surprising at this point.
Yeah, like I've read many books and seen many movies. I understand foreshadowing. Okay.
Yeah. And
Ren.
also because they like can't lie.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, I'm bringing her heart," basically. So it's like, well, then he has to be.
Yeah.
And where other place? Like, where's the best place to store a heart? Obviously in someone's body. So
why did I just think McCavity, like in her chest cavity?
I love that.
Oh God, Cats! What a musical! Oh God. Anyway, I really liked. I really liked Bogdana. I wanted more from her as well because she was like really creepy and deadly, and just the fact that she would like put human skins on like trees and shit to be like, you fucked up, now someone died because of you. Like, that's disgusting and so evil. And like characters like that are terrifying but cool, you know what I mean? Like, they're interesting. So I kind of hope Holly Black releases like a little novella, even if it's just like an ebook, because she did that with Taryn, Jude's twin sister, and I read it. It was like 80 pages maybe, and it was so good. I still hate her, but it was really interesting. So I would totally be down to read that because I was really interested in that character, and I had never heard of a storm hag before, and I'm kind of jealous. So kind of want to be one. I've already got the hag
like
part.
Mad, you can be like, channel your inner storm hag.
Yes. I've already got the hag. I need the storm bit. So like,
relatable.
oh my God. So even though Ren kind of bugged me because I was like, I need more from you, I need your thoughts, I need to know what the hell's going on, all this stuff, I did appreciate that we had another female protagonist who was not likable, who wasn't pretty, who wasn't, you know, all these things, just like Jude, because Jude pissed me off. But God damn it, didn't she get things done when she wanted to? You know, even if I didn't agree with what she wanted to do, she got it done, you know? So I did like that about Ren. I thought she was, like, her backstory is very sad. And I kind of wish we had more instead of like, there's a huge chunk of time gone that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
But that's like with Jude too.
Yeah. I really liked hearing all of the stuff at the beginning about Ren staying with her like foster family and stuff. I thought that the part when she gets taken away by Lady Nore and Lord Gerald was really like sad. I felt very bad during that part. That was probably one of the only parts in the book where I felt like really connected to what was going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, hearing her like about her like sleeping in that kind of like nest that she made herself, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Ugh. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was that she was like, what the creature was that she was ruining their spells on people. But I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. And also gross. Again, like, I love that Holly Black makes these lethal creatures, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's real stakes here, which I love. But I just feel like I didn't feel as much danger for our protagonists like I did in the Elfhame trilogy.
Yeah.
You know?
I
like,
agree.
Yeah, like I was really on the edge of my seat with Jude and Carden, and Locke. Locke was the fucking worst. There were so many terrible people in that first series.
Locke.
Yes, that trifling piece of shit. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but with this one, because it was so quest based, I think that might have been the reason. Like, they were so focused on getting to the, what is it, Ice Citadel? Which I did like the descriptions there. I thought that was really cool. Like, the totally ice building and like the floors, and you'd have to watch the shadows and stuff. Like, that's super cool.
Yeah, and I really liked when they were coming up to it and she was talking about how the spires were broken. And
Yes.
then when they go into Lady Nore's chamber, she's looking at the dresses and they're all like broken down and like threadbare and everything. And I found myself wondering, like, do they have no money, or is she just like in shambles because Lord Gerald's gone? Also, what the fuck happened to him, and why are his hands around her neck?
Right?
Nobody explained that. And I was like, I feel like this could be one of the most interesting parts, and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah,
Just goes, oh, the hands of Lord Gerald. And I'm like, and they're like, nothing. That's it.
like, I don't remember. I feel like maybe I should have reread the Elfhame trilogy before, or at least the last book, but I didn't want to because I'm busy, and I just I just wanted to start this one.
Busy.
I am, okay. But I just wanted to get into this one. So I was like, we can do it. And I thought they would do like the classic early 2000s, 90s books where it's like, what you missed last time, when it's a series, you know?
Yeah.
But they did not. Not really. A little
No.
bit, but you know, whatever. That frickin' box with the fake heart in it, or the fake out box where all the frickin' spiders came out.
Right?
My worst nightmare. I was like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could not. Oh,
Not
God.
good.
But also, I need to address the elephant, or should I say the hooves in the room. Because did you remember that he was like half goat or satyr or something? Because I did not.
No, I didn't either. The first time she mentioned it, I was like, because I'm like, horns, yeah, sure. Every second fairy has horns or some shit like that.
Whatever.
But then when she was like, his hooves, and I was like, his what? What?
Mr. Tumnus up in here. Like,
And then all I could think about were those videos on TikTok where people paint their horses' nails.
oh.
And then I was just picturing him walking around with like sparkly feet.
What part of TikTok are you on that you see people painting their horses' hooves?
Well, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole where I got really into watching hoof cleaning videos.
Oh, the farriers, yeah.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm very scared of horses. It's not because I like them. I just thought it was really, really satisfying how they dug the dirt out and stuff. But anyway, now I'm on equestrian TikTok.
Ooh.
So,
Horse girl, but not.
lucky me. The worst horse girl ever right here.
There's always one. There's always one.
I love the idea.
Right? Oh my God.
But yeah, so that's how I pictured Oak whenever they mentioned the hooves. And the rest of the time, I just kind of tried to ignore that part.
I'm just like so confused with the Fae and their babies, because like Matic doesn't have hooves. His mother
But he's not
doesn't
Maddox.
have hooves.
Oh,
Right?
that's true. No, his mother didn't have hooves, and
So-
Dane didn't have hooves.
Yeah.
At least I don't think he did. Carden doesn't have hooves.
No. So like,
So do they
what?
just like breed like however? They just like
I don't know. But also on the subject of offspring, do you see Jude having babies? Because I don't. So Oak, you
No,
better
I
get
don't.
ready.
yeah. I don't think she like I don't see it. But
No, she would be a terrible mother. Like, I'm sorry, but at least what we've seen.
for real.
Unless she's had some like emotional growth that we're not privy to, like she needs some
Yeah.
therapy at the very least. She needs some therapy.
Lots. Do you think, totally off topic from
Yeah.
that, do you think they let Matic keep his gross hat while he was in prison? You think that'd be part of the punishment? Like, we're going to take away your blood hat while you're down here?
I would, especially because it's such like a prized possession. That'd be the first thing I did.
Whenever they talk about the hat, like in the first series, I felt like I could smell something rotten. 'Cause I'm like, it's just dipped in like blood of like hundreds of creatures. Ugh. Like that thing's gotta stink to high heavens.
Right? And how can you be stealthy when you're wearing it? You can't, because everyone would smell you.
I know. I also just picture the guy who played the Lannister dad in Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, him with like really sharp teeth and a red beanie. That's what I picture.
I love it. Oh my god.
Yeah, because it's like a red cap and you like dip your hat, but I'm picturing a beanie. Like, I'm not picturing like, I don't know what kind of hat it would be.
I picture kind of like that weird, am I making things up? It's like that thing you put on like knights would put on their head underneath the helmet. So it's like long, but it looks like a sleeping cap almost. Am I like putting a few things together? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I kind of, in my head, do remember some kind of tail description. Not a tail, but like a hat with a long, like...
Okay.
Like,
so like
a
Link.
tail on it. Yeah, kind of like Link.
Okay.
So maybe it's kind of like that?
It's
Peter
bizarre.
Pan? I don't know.
I don't know. It's bizarre. But Oak kept saying over and over, like, I'm not going to be the one in charge, so whatever. Like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna go the red cap route, or is he just gonna be like, haha, I'm the spare? Like, is he gonna write a memoir, a tell-all but not tell much? Like, I don't know. What's he gonna do?
tell all but not tell much.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't say it was gonna be a tell-all. We just all wanted him to. We know who I'm talking about. But
you know what's annoying? All these pictures of Maddox, no hat.
What?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, did you read the book? Like,
nope. No hat. No hat. No hat. No hat.
I just don't understand. Nope. Oh, I have another thing I have to ask you about. You reminded me when you brought up that horse TikTok. So it's not horse related, but it is TikTok related. So I came across a TikTok where someone was like talking about the book and they were like, are we just not going to address the incest here? And I'm like, what incest? Like, am I not remembering the family tree correctly? Because Oak is Jude's half brother.
Oak is Jude's adopted brother.
Yes. Okay. So this person was like convinced it was incest because he's related to Locke. But I'm like, how is this incest? I'm very confused. Like,
incest between him and Suren?
How could it be though? Because
Suren is made of snow,
right?
So,
and like, sticks, which is wild.
Sticks. So I don't know what that girl's on about, but definitely not incest in my books.
Because I'm pretty sure they would have said something in here if it was incest somewhere. Because hello, I don't understand.
Really, this whole thing could have been like a love story between freaking Jude and Oak, and it still wouldn't have been incest. Like, would it have been like fucking weird? Yeah, yes. But like incest, technically, no. Like,
yeah. Oh God, this would have been like a Woody Allen movie.
We don't need any more of those.
No, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole because he's awful. So, but also, you brought up the fact that Ren is made out of snow and sticks. What the fuck? Because I remember reading that and I was like, that can't be. Like, what? And so I really did like that part with Ren kind of grappling with, like, am I real? Like, what is going on? Because, like, that, I can't imagine being told like you're actually not a real person.
Right.
I just like concocted you out of snow and whatever I could find, and this like really powerful heart, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I felt sad for her too, you know, because she was already isolated and had a terrible, tragic childhood. So I'm just like, where do we go from here? And like, is she real? What do you think? Like, this is so bizarre.
I think she's real. I'm kind of wondering if in the next book they're going to start calling her Malith.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
she technically kind of is.
But is she? Because, like, if you got a heart donated to you from someone who didn't need it anymore.
But if your heart was the only part of you that was actually a person, and the rest of you was just snow and sticks,
Elsa?
little sticks, then are, wow, a moral quandary.
This is like Frankenstein's monster. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if she has characteristics of Malith.
Oh.
Because of that, like, are her teeth like her, or the color of her skin, or her hair? Like, also I'm picturing like shark teeth,
Yeah.
like the rows of sharp teeth.
Or like a whale.
Yeah, not just like a row of top teeth and a row of bottom teeth. I'm picturing like 4 rows of top teeth and 4 rows of bottom teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I'm sure her mom loves her, but we already know she doesn't. So, like,
Yeah,
oh, Ren,
I know.
it's not your fault. You're so gap-toothed, except it's pointy-toothed. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because, yeah, I could see them calling her by her real name or her new name, whatever. And I wonder, because I've already said I don't really remember a lot of the ending, unfortunately. But I think I remember that there was a little bit of a shift within Ren because she's like now kind of awakened the heart in her.
Yeah, she like hulks out at the little standoff with the troll guy. I don't remember his name.
Not important.
Oak gives him the box. The box shoots like a needle at him and he dies. But then she ends up saving him and doing a deal with him where he's gonna like follow her and be like like surrender to her.
Like pledge fealty or something.
Yeah. And she does say in her mind that she like can feel her sharp teeth, and like for the first time she doesn't mind how sharp they are or something, or like she likes it.
Okay.
And but at the same time she's also doing really bad stuff, so I'm like, is this the foreshadowing of evil? Who knows? Honestly, I don't really care what it is. I just want more information.
Right? Holly Black.
Like, I don't have a stance because I don't have enough information to have a strong stance on where I want this to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Holly Black did say, because of course the interviewer was like, can you tell us more? And she's like, nope. You know, because it's like, buy the book. This is my job. You have to read the book. Hello, dude. But she was like, what you think is going to happen doesn't. And I'm like, what? Because I don't even know what's going to happen, you know? But that's kind of on trend for her, at least with the other series, because you couldn't trust anyone. And I loved and hated that about the series. So
yeah, I don't know. Like,
I'm excited though, I gotta say, because I trust her. I hope that the second and last one is going to be very I'm gonna say explosive. I feel like some bombs will be dropped, shit's gonna go down, twists will twist and turn, and I mean, I am here for Ren's villain era. I am.
me too.
Like, go for it. Bare those jagged teeth.
I was really surprised at the end when, I don't know if Lady Nore said, like, what do you want to do? Or, like, she asked her something, and Ren goes, I want you to die. And then Lady Nore just, like, explodes in the snow, basically. And I was like, oh, cool. She's like, I didn't mean, like, that.
This very moment.
Okay.
Ask and you shall receive.
Honestly.
I mean, I was just surprised that she didn't kill her like the second she had the chance, honestly, but you know.
I feel like I would have. I understand like the strategy of it, but also
she's
would
in
I
charge.
have? Yeah, no, I would have just. Also, the creepy dead people in her ice bed.
I know! What the hell is that?
Yep.
Do you think we'll hear anything about who those people are, or they're just like decorations?
I don't know, but they sounded that alarm. Remember that she like pulled the covers back and they were there, and then they start going, ooh. Like, no thanks.
Or they're like, help us, and then they're like, oh shit,
Yeah,
the alarm's
I've had Lady Nore's ass in my mouth for years.
I'm so cold, you know? Wow.
Who knows?
I mean, that's why everyone is angry and fighting all the time. They're fucking cold, okay? Like,
for real. Oh, and at the end, or not, was it? Oh, when they're going out to do the meetup, she's like walking and she's saying, oh, I'm trying to like not to go into the snow. I'm trying to walk on the crust on top, and she realizes she's still barefoot. And she's like, because I've always been cold or whatever. And I was getting Elsa vibes.
yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited about the second one. We'll see where it takes us, but I am going to read it. I'm not into Oak like I was into Carden, but I hope No, there can only be one, honestly. Like, Carden, what a guy. But like, I do hope in the next book that we see more of Oak's lethal side, because I want it.
Yeah, I do
Please.
too. I just want the depth.
Yes. Give me the violence. Never thought I would say that, but I want it.
I do too. I would also like some romantic tension if that's like the goal.
Right? Especially
I'd like to feel it.
Now he's in prison. Like, maybe we could like have the dagger scene, but like reversed, you know?
Yeah, well, at the end when she's like standing in the shadow of the prison and he's talking to her and she's not saying anything and she leaves and he's yelling her name and she goes, I hate that he's really upset, but I do love to hear him scream my name. And I was like, yes. That was the only time where I was like, get it.
And she's older than him,
but that was like
too.
the last page.
Yeah.
Lame.
She's older than him too, so she'll like, maybe there'll be like a power shift because now she actually has some.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, mommy?
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a YA book. Of course they wouldn't do that.
I'm sorry. There are some very explicit YA books. You'd be surprised. So I'm just saying, Holly, if you're gonna put a romance in, it doesn't need to be explicit, but we need that same tension and reward that we got with Jude and Carden. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was a letdown.
Well, hopefully in the next book, we'll also find out how the hell to get to Elfhame, because now that it seems you can just like hop, skip, and jump over a bush in Maine to get there, I would like that map. Please and thank you.
Yeah, Maine's not that far away.
No, not from us anyway. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not ready, but I will be.
Pack the bread and cheese.
Pack the bread and cheese.
That's all they seem to eat over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every time they're like, yeah, I got bread and cheese in like a cloth that's tied up by the four corners.
Right? Okay.
Kind of thing.
Can we just quickly talk about how like that's whenever people go on quests, they're like, I brought cheese and bread. That's not going to sustain me. I'm going to need a whole lot of bread and cheese, and I'll eat it. That's fine. I have no problem with eating bread and cheese, but like, your girl can eat. So
also, like, let's hope nobody's allergic to penicillin, because after 4 days that bread's gonna be moldy.
It's not gonna last 4 days. But also, that would be heavy.
Yeah.
Is it like a wheel of cheese?
I was gonna say, I was like, do you just roll it? Like, are you running on the wheel? Is that how you're getting everywhere so fast?
They should have just traveled by map like the Muppets do, honestly. Never mind that ragweed horse. Travel by map.
Yeah.
Amateurs. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us on our adventures through Elfhame with Holly Black's latest book, The Stolen Heir. If you want to keep up to date on all things bookish with Nikki and I, you can check out our Instagram at BYOB Podcast or our TikTok at Bring Your Own Book Podcast for lots of fun, silly updates. Join us next time because we're going to be reading one of our, Nikki and I, favorite romances by Emily Henry, and that would be Beach Read. So until then, I hope you are having a great day. Keep on drinking in great stories. Cheers!
Next time on the Bring Your Own Book Podcast. I have a fatal flaw.